Ladies and gentlemen, this is breaking news. CBS News. Man arrested near Kavanaugh's home, charged with attempting to end the Supreme Court justice's life. California man, almost certainly a wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrat. Obviously not wonderful, but this is a man 26 years old from California, charged with an attempt to end a Supreme Court justice's life. If convicted, he faces a maximum of sentence of 20 years in federal prison. Should be longer. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you embrace the Second Amendment if you have people out there who want to do you harm. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why if you are Chuck Schumer, you don't say, quote, "you will pay the price," end quote. And this is a tragedy. It's terrible. And it's something that the Democratic Party, I would say, morally superior, absolutely fantastic, highly educated liberal Democrats have fostered. Of course, there are a number of people on the right who have done the same types of things. The difference, however, is that you had an entire summer with $1 to $2 billion in property damage. Could you imagine if Trumpers or Trump supporters or conservatives caused $1 to $2 billion in property damage? Now, I agree with the cause of why people were demonstrating that summer. But Republicans have now a whole couple weeks of primetime television for that fateful day 2 years ago. It was one day that everyone condemns. They haven't charged or indicted Trump, yet they want to just milk every ounce of political expediency from it. Here you have Chuck Schumer saying he'll pay the price, quote, pay the price. When was the last time? I mean, Democrats get away with everything. They can get away with $1 to $2 billion in property damage. And don't say it wasn't Democrats. It was the people who demonstrated vote Democrat. Do I agree with why they demonstrated that summer? Yeah. But they're on the left. Okay, there was property damage. There was damage to federal buildings. There were law enforcement officials, that had to battle demonstrators every single day, get injured, all of that. And media said, there was a CNN journalist in front of a house, in front of a building, saying, well, it's fiery but mostly peaceful. Everything was mostly peaceful. Well, if you look at things from that vantage point, then that fateful day blamed on Trump was mostly. If you just look at the aggregate number of human beings and the people who were committing crimes, well, it's mostly peaceful. But that's the way the media works. They lie by omission, or they just spin a narrative that benefits the Democratic Party at the expense of the Republican Party through lies by omission. Nobody lies by omission more than media. It's a lie by omission. So, Schumer telling Brett Kavanaugh he'll quote, pay the price for Roe resurfaces Newsweek. I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price. Schumer said, look how he speaks. Look how he's able to speak. Look how he's able to communicate. And could you imagine if Trump said this? Could you imagine if Trump said this on that fateful day? He actually used the words peaceful. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. Schumer is there telling the world that the intelligence agencies are going to get Trump one way or another right before Trump enters the Oval Office. And now he's, if Trump's rhetoric... Okay, Trump has never said anything as bad as what mashed potato brains Joe said to Charlemagne the God. about you aren't who you are if you don't vote for him. And Trump has never said anything as bad as or as provocative or controversial as "you won't know what hit you. You'll pay the price." Could you imagine? These are the people who think Trump is the authoritarian. Think about that for a second. Then you have a man who almost he was. He was influenced by Schumer. So therefore Schumer should be investigated by a House panel. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel, the Bitcoin Crash channel below. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. Share this segment everywhere. I have 3 channels, people. Subscribe to all of them. Unbelievable. This is why you have the Second Amendment to protect yourself and your family. And you can ban anything you'd like. People who have lost their minds or who are easily manipulated or who are angry, have nothing to lose. People who have nothing to lose are capable of anything. They're certainly capable of circumventing laws. They do that all the time. Okay? You can pretty much buy anything through any person that already sells or engages in illegal behavior. So in every community of this country, it doesn't matter if it's Beverly Hills or a community that's suffering through economic hardship. It doesn't matter if it's Manhattan, or the wealthiest areas on the planet, or the least wealthy. You can find anything that's banned. And if a person has lost his or her mind, and their intent, speak slowly for morally superior liberal Democrats to understand. Very slowly, okay? If you have a criminal who wants to commit the most evil, destructive act, your legislation is not going to make it more difficult for them. They're going to go ahead and engage in whatever they want to do. Your job as a society is to protect innocent people, and you do so with reciprocal force right then and there. You want to make sure, go to any federal building, go to any court in this country, go to any government building in this country. You will have armed security. Go to Congress, any court, but you don't want armed security in buildings that house the most innocent angels in the world. Interesting. Democrats are okay with courts. You cannot go into a court without going into a metal detector and seeing numerous armed guards. Okay, sorry. Hospitals, schools, places of worship, more important to me than courts. Although courts are extremely important. And yet Democrats pick and choose where they want the armed guards. You can go anywhere, any major production company or studio. There will be armed guards. Okay, the Hollywood liberals love armed guards while they try to erase the Second Amendment. So do politicians. So do liberal politicians. Okay? All of these liberal politicians, you're not going to be able to ever speak to them because guess what? There are armed guards on the way to their offices. So if, God forbid, anyone wants to do anyone harm, the armed guards take care of business, one would think. But not everybody not everybody can spend tens of thousands of dollars like left-leaning politicians in Congress on security details. But the point is, you have so much hypocrisy, it's unbelievable. Schumer saying the most egregious, insightful things, getting away with it. See, and you have right then and there somebody going after Kavanaugh, and Kavanaugh hopefully has embraced the Second Amendment. Like I have. When there was a threat on me on Twitter. I don't have Twitter anymore. Went to the police department, actually filed a police report on the Twitter profile, and the police said, hey, you know what to do. You know what to do. Arm yourself. And so I did. The police will tell you that. There's only so much they can do. Okay, there's only so much they can do. If, God forbid, somebody wants to do me harm or you harm or Kavanaugh harm or anyone harm, before the police get there, you have the Second Amendment. It's there to protect yourself and your family. It's not there so liberals can screech and oh my God, oh, if we just remove this, if we just ban. How's your war on narcotics? Didn't work out. How did prohibition work out? Didn't work out. They create these euphemisms of firearm and then violence. See, if you just remove the firearm, then you won't have those violence anymore. No. It doesn't work that way, morally superior liberal Democrats. And plus, you have like so many examples. You have so many examples of wonderful morally superior liberals utilizing, trying to utilize. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now.